Assalamualaikum. So we're kicking off this coaching series. That's going to last, inshallah, the whole year. We're going to do the whole year. My plan is to stay committed to you. I may move around my videos a little bit based on the schedule and which part of the world I'm going to be in. But for me, I plan to show up for you every single week, inshallah, and share with you something super valuable, super implementable, and actually what really matters when it comes to getting results in health and fitness. So my goal with these videos is to end the frustration and the confusion, get all the extra stuff out of your head, and just be focused on your progress, which is what matters the most. You know, it's not about which diet works or not, what are the best ab exercises. These are all the wrong questions we're asking. We always want to be focused on what we can change so that change is long lasting. And that's how truly you transform your body from inside out. So if you're catching me live today, go ahead, drop live in the comments below. If you're catching a replay, drop replay. This just helps me see who's watching the videos, and if there's anything that I can help you out with, go ahead, comment your questions, comment your thoughts. You know, the more you say it out loud, the more you verbalize it, the more you put it out there, the more you are committing to changing a really tiny part of you, and you're bound to see progress. So this is for this is not for those who don't want progress. This is for those who want progress, who want to change. So let's get into it. Today's lesson, goal setting. I'm going to do this over 2 parts just because it can be pretty heavy. So have you ever set a goal you haven't been able to achieve? You know, I understand how frustrating and demoralizing that can feel. You end up feeling like a failure, wondering what's wrong with you, and questioning whether you'll ever get what you really want. And even worse, every time you fall short of your goal, especially if it's the one you've repeatedly been unable to reach, it reinforces the unhelpful stories you tell yourselves. So what are some of these stories that we tell ourselves? Nothing works for me. I'll never figure it out. I'm destined to stay stuck exactly where I am forever. I just have to look at food and I gain weight, you know. So if you've been unable to reach a goal in the past and it's left you feeling defeated and scared to try again, you need to know this. The problem was never you. The problem was your goal setting process. Okay? So important. When most women decide they want to make a change, they typically set a goal without considering whether the goal aligns with your value system, what's really required to achieve the goal, what's a realistic action plan, whether it fits into your lifestyle or not, right? Which is why we fail so quickly. So this ambiguity, what does it do? It quickly results in overwhelm, an absence of motivation, resistance to consistently taking the actions necessary to reach the goal, and eventually giving up. After working with so many women, this is a system that I've developed to ensure that they set goals in a way that allows them to actually achieve them, which is so important. So here's the overview of my goal setting process. Number 1, identify your values for your body, health, and fitness. Number 2, consider your outcome-based goal. Here, I'll blow it up for you so you can read it. 3, establish values-driven, behavior-based goals. 4, set your implementation intentions. And 5, identify and plan for obstacles. So this sounds really heavy, but guess how long it's going to take us to work through this together? About 4 weeks. This is not a one-day process, which is why we find it so difficult and so overwhelming. This is going to take us 4 to 5 weeks. Now I want you to stick with it, because 100% this stuff works. It's how successful people succeed. Okay? You just got to keep at it. You just got to keep improving it. You got to take baby steps. Once you've set your goals, you'll get started and use the information you collect throughout your journey to refine this process. Okay? So every month, I'm going to check in with you. And every, let's say, 3 months as well, I'll check in with you. I'm going to ask you to revisit your values and set behavior-based goals for the next 4 weeks. Now, I understand that this goal-setting process, it might feel different than what you've done before. You're probably thinking like, how much protein should I be eating? How many times a day should I eat? What about sleep? What about this? What about that? Like so many other things. None of that matters if you don't have the discipline to follow through what you commit to. And secondly, it doesn't even matter if you're not clear on your most important values. Okay? Because setting yourself up for long-term success means that you're committed to your foundation. And sometimes we never even stop to ask ourselves what our foundation is. It is so important. So, like I said, this goal-setting process might feel different than what you've done before. And you might feel overwhelmed, but don't worry. I'm going to break it down into bite-sized pieces over the next few weeks. So you are going to, here is my hope. Okay, is this, yeah, there we go. Be crystal clear about what you consider most important for your body, health, and fitness. Identify your outcome-based goals. Use your outcome-based goals to understand and set behavior-based goals that align with your values. Create an action plan. Have a plan B to navigate obstacles that might come up. And in case you're still wondering why I'm moving in the screen, it's because I'm on my treadmill. I usually will just move because if I don't, I'm a very sedentary person without my treadmill. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I was the person who would get onto the treadmill and be like, oh my God, how long has it been? It would just be 20 seconds. So this is a huge life-changing thing for me. All right, let's get back on track. Outcome-based goals and behavior-based goals. Let's understand them, okay? Now, I really want you to understand why I focus so heavily on behavior-based goals. It's, and the first thing is it's important to first understand the difference between the outcome and behavior-based goals. And every time that I have focused on the outcome, I have failed miserably. My outcome could be, for example, I want to cut my sugar habit, so I tell myself I'm not going to bring anything into the house because I feel like that's the best way to do it. I actually didn't change my behavior. I just put a band-aid on it by not bringing it. But what happens if I do see it? Well, it has never worked because I always end up buying it. I just buy it. After 4 or 5 days, it's like, well, I'll just add it to my grocery cart. Drag and drop. It's so simple. Until I started focusing on behavior. And that's when things really changed for me. What is the behavior? How should I be behaving in my day? Because the outcome is not in my hands. The outcome is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to tie our camel. And tying our camel is the behavior-based goal. Okay? So, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us to tie our camel, and that's the behavior-based goal. So let's get into it. Let's understand the difference. Number one, outcome-based goals are the results that you'd like to achieve. These goals are often, but not always, focused on numbers. Examples including losing, 50 pounds or kilos, increasing your deadlift by, 30 pounds or kilos, or doing like 20 push-ups. Outcome-based goals are sometimes vague and don't involve specific numbers, but they still focus on a result, such as gaining muscle, getting stronger, or losing body fat percentage, right? One of my outcome-based goals is to lose 5% of my body fat percentage. So it may help to think of your outcome-based goals as a destination on the map. That's where you want to get to. Outcome-based goals are the most common health and fitness goals. The challenge with outcome-based goals is that despite the best of intentions, everything necessary to reach those goals won't always be within your control, especially if there's a timeline attached to it, right? Lifestyle preferences, training history and experiences. By training, I mean your workouts, work schedule, stress, sleep quality. These are just a few of the factors that can significantly affect your ability to reach a specific outcome. So that said, keeping your outcome-based goal in mind, it can serve as a reminder of where you'd like to go, right? And you'll use that, we're going to reverse engineer it, to set your behavior-based goals. Because of a wide variety of factors can interfere with reaching your outcome-based goals, we're going to focus in the next 12 months primarily on setting and working towards behavior-based goals. Okay? So next week, I'm going to talk about behavior-based goals, what they are, why they're so incredibly impactful. But before I can do that, the first step is gaining clarity around your values as they pertain to your body, health, and fitness. So the step one is to get clear on your values. What are values? Your values are what you want to stand for in your life. And your values are the sort of qualities you want to cultivate, and your heart's deepest desires for the way you want to interact with and relate to your body, health, and fitness. You know, obviously in the context of why we're here today, we're just going to be focusing on that. We're not talking about like general values. So your values are the leading principles that can motivate you as you move through life. Your values embody what you want to do and how you want to do it. Gaining clarity around your values can help with your relationships, your work, and other areas of your life, right? But in the next 12 months, you'll be working to gain clarity specifically around your values regarding your body, health, and fitness, okay? So your values are an expression of who you want to be, what you want to stand for, what's most important to you, and how you want to show up in your life and in the world. Okay? So I love this simply because even as Muslim women, we can't just live life the way we want. Okay? It just can't be waking up whenever we want, eating whatever we want, not being prepared, not planning ahead, just saying, you know, forget it, giving up easily, being frustrated. All of these things aren't, you know, a Muslim is above that. You know, we are supposed to be disciplined. We're supposed to stick to our principles. We're supposed to be very principled as well. So I really love this approach to our behaviors because it even brings the best of us, best in us as Muslims, okay? So remember, values are different from goals. Goals are a destination, something you can achieve, click here, it's getting stuck. Something that you can achieve or cross off your list. On the other hand, your values provide a sense of passion and purpose. It might, think of your values as your compass or your North Star, guiding you along your journey and helping you make decisions based on what's important to you as you travel towards your destination. Your values determine how you'll show up in ways that make your life rewarding, satisfying, and deeply fulfilling, regardless of the outcome. Which is why, like, when I work with women one-on-one and they begin to see the impact, like, for example, they're like, my kids are eating healthier, but just naturally on their own. I don't even ask them to, but my kids are making these choices because they see me making these choices. Or my kids are, working out with me and they love it. They're like, what was it? One of my clients said that you are my fitness mommy, my super mommy. Right? It's just amazing to hear this because that's when you realize that it's making you so happy because one of your values is family, right? We do it because we want the best for our family. So when we see this, it's just amazing. Another thing that my clients say is their intimacy has gone through the roof. You know, their husbands are following them around, they're getting more attention, they're getting more time in the bedroom, they're feeling more confident about what's happening. And that's amazing. Another comment that I got was like, I got my job. I got my first job after having 6 kids. because now she has the energy for it. So that means one of her values is to be independent, and that's making her happy, because focusing on her health and fitness and showing up for herself is enhancing this other aspect of her life. So why are values so important for goal setting? Identifying your values as they pertain to your body, health, and fitness will provide you with clarity and confidence in making daily choices throughout the next 12 months. And also, being clear on your values will help notice discrepancies when things don't align with what you've determined is more important. It's going to prevent you from making bad choices that are taking you away from your goal. It's going to reduce the effect that shaitan has over you, that your nafs has over you, because you're like, no, that doesn't align with my values. This is leading me towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards my health, towards growth, and this is leaving me down the self-sabotage line. This is leaving me down, and away from everything. Okay, so here's an example. Suppose one of your values is freedom. You want to lose weight, so you sign up for a diet program that provides a detailed meal plan and a list of foods you have to eat at specific times every day. A meal plan like this doesn't allow much freedom. This discrepancy in values means you won't feel motivated to stick with the plan for long because freedom is important to you. Secondly, another example, let's say that one of your values is health and your coworker is trying to talk you into joining a weight loss challenge at the office. You're tempted to try it until you realize that the recommended meal plan is a miserable crash diet, which you know isn't healthy. Participating in the challenge would put you at odds with your values, so you decline. I mean, that's so empowering. You felt so good for saying no. Perhaps you realize that one of your values is strength. Your friends keep trying to convince you to try some random high-intensity workout challenges just to post on social media. You know that type of exercise isn't going to help you get stronger, and it unnecessarily increases your risk for injury, which could hinder your ability to exercise consistently. Because strength is one of your values, you select a smart strength training program and stay the course, even when you don't feel like training, or even when the program's novelty starts to wear off, because some of these things can be boring, right? Sticking to your health and fitness goals can be boring. So, as you can see, setting goals before identifying your values puts the cart before the horse, right? Identifying your values is crucial to your goal setting process. So, if you have never done values work before, it may surprise you to discover that your values are slightly different than what you initially thought, and that's okay. These aren't set in stone, and you might value different things during different phases of your life, which is why I like to work with a very narrow age range of women, because our values do change over time, and I can relate to the ones most in a specific age range, right? Anyways, you will have lots of opportunities to reevaluate your values over the next year, inshallah. And I'm really excited about doing this process. So when first identifying your values, it's common to start with a long list, right? Because everything feels important. But if everything is a value, then nothing is a priority. So for this reason, I want you to work on this with me together. Posted below your top three values, okay? Identify your top three values, and this is how you're going to do it. Let's see if I have some questions here for you. There we go. So, when you think of your body, health, and fitness, which values do you most strongly identify with? Start asking yourself these questions. When you think about the benefits of regular exercise as a way to live a rich and deeply fulfilling life, which values do you most strongly identify with? When you think about good nutrition in ways that will allow you to show up how you want in your life, which values do you most strongly identify with? Which values are most important to you to live your best life? Okay, I'm going to tell you what my top three values are at this point. So family, self-improvement, and sensuality. I was like, that's crazy. That it's something that I've never verbalized. Looking good in my skin and looking good without clothes, it's suddenly become so important to me because I live my entire life clothed. And because I was covered, modest clothing, and I've never actually looked at myself naked. But now, as I approach 40, in 2 more years, I'm like, why not? You know, at this point, I have birthed it. People have seen me without clothes. Like, I've had pap tests done, whatever. Like, I deserve to know my body way more intimately. So that's why I put sensuality as my values, because I want to explore and see where this can take me. And even Islamically, it's very empowering. There's nothing wrong with looking at yourself and wanting something more for your physical body, as long as we do it in a healthy way. Okay, so I'm going to give you a values list. I think my daughter calculated, I forgot the number, but it has like easily over 100 values. Review your list. Okay, narrow your top 10 and then compare each value. Take into consideration real life situations pertaining to your body, health, and fitness. Narrow your list down to 5. Review and compare your top 5. Then revise. So revise it again one more time so that only your top 3 values remain. This exercise can be challenging, so I really encourage you to take the week to think about it. And then, go ahead and share with me or message me directly what your top 3 values are, okay? Be sure you're choosing the values that are most important to you and only you. There are no right or wrong answers because values are unique to each person, okay? Write them down, keep them handy. We're going to be referring to them and asking about them a lot, okay? So I will share this list with you. I'll probably screenshot it and drop it in there below. Let me know if you found this beneficial, and I'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.